It's Tuesday the 14th of April and we've closed the 17th green today to do two pieces of work, and you can see there's a lot of activity down here. The two things we're doing, firstly, on a number of the greens we've got raised edges around the edge of a green, and you'd know that if your ball gets up against one of those raised edges it makes it very difficult to putt. So it's quite a detailed piece of work, but you can see the guys have turf cut around the edges of a green here and reducing the size of the ridge, and then we'll replace the turf. There's Dave just hopping in, he's only just arrived. He's hopping in to make it look like he's doing a bit of hard work. The other piece of work we're doing here, we've got Mick busily working into the drainage pit there. Just at the back of the 17th green here, we've had a fairly long-term problem with too much moisture around here, and for a while we thought it was drainage, but we managed to dig out photos of the drain and all the drainage that's here. So we don't think it's drainage. We think really it's a case of the fact, very simple one, that the irrigation point is too far away from the green. That's where it is, where Mick is right now, Michael Benson I should say, and we're going to move it much closer to the green so that we can control the irrigation on the green and not get it in this area here. So hopefully we'll see an improvement in this area, which has been a problem for a long time. We'll just have a chat to Dave about all this in just a moment, and if I can, I'll show you a picture of the irrigation that was put in place a long time ago, just to show that it is there. So I'm here with Dave. Dave's just stopped working really hard and I'm trying to get his right side here because one of our members told me last week that Dave has a good face for radio, so we're trying to make him look as handsome as we can. Dave, the whole team's been out here working from early this morning on this job. So what are they doing?
Well, we've got two projects going in one. We've got irrigation at the back, in that wet area, the back left of the green here. The irrigation head has always been located a long way from the green, and last summer we were irrigating greens very regularly because of the heat, and of course it's wetting all the clay soil in between the sprinkler and the green. Yep. And developing a wet area. So we're moving that sprinkler closer to the green, and that'll eliminate that problem. That's fantastic. And I'll just talk through what we were doing around the edges here. Mm-hmm.
We're doing right round this green.
Yes.
How long does it take to do?
We started on this green at about 6:30 this morning. It gets turf cut, and the turf gets put aside, as you've probably seen, and then we turf cut it again. We remove about 20 millimetres of turf underneath, and then we put a scarifier through it just to loosen up the soil so we can rake it around and level it out, and then a very fastidious job re-turfing with the existing couch, getting the levels spot on. So that little annoying ridge that's around every green, it's a very common occurrence on every golf course that I've ever seen, kikuyu or couch, and it comes about by the different growth rates of the grasses. The warm season grasses on the outside are very vigorous, and then the cool season grasses on the inside. And ours is very distinct because we edge the green, so there's no graduation or minimal encroachment for that graduation to happen. So this will happen again. It could be 10 or 15 years, but we will need to do it again. It's not something that you get rid of.
It's certainly needed doing. I had a photo just before this interview of the ball up against the ridge, and I think we all know if your ball gets up right against the ridge, it makes it a very difficult putt. You can only get half a ball, so yeah, I think the members really appreciate getting it done. How many greens do we have that require this sort of work?
I would say we'll be doing 18 greens. It might not be to the extent of this green. This one's been 100% right the way around. On the majority of greens though, you'd have to say it'd be 75% of the perimeter of the green. There's not too many areas that don't need it.
Right. And I'm sure when we're playing we'll make this GUR, and we're playing social golf just at the moment, so that doesn't matter so much, but we'll make it GUR so people do get relief from it. How long do you think it will take to actually grow back in and get a smoother surface around the edge?
I think the first few that we do, we plan on doing one a week at this stage. The first few that we do should recover okay, and then as we get into winter, obviously the turf marks will persist right through winter and then establish come spring. But the first layer of turf that we're removing is 30 millimetres thick, so it's really thick and solid and heavy, so it shouldn't skew around with equipment turning on it or golfers walking on it. So essentially you would say it's established except for the lines in it.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. I think it's a really necessary project and will improve the playability of the course for everybody for years to come. So thanks to you and the guys for doing it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Might be some top dressing needed next spring just to do some final levels on it.
Yep.
But I think it looks fantastic.